Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Rossi. Today we're going to finish our shape robots from last week. What you'll be needing today is your shape robot paper that you drew your robot on last week. You're also going to need something to color with. Today I'm going to use colored pencils and crayons, but you can use whatever you have at home if you don't have these materials. Last week, we created our own robot using all different kinds of shapes. So we thought about what shape we wanted for our robot's head, our robot's body, our robot's legs, arms, and all of our little details, and how we could draw those things using shapes. So I have a square head, a rectangle body, and then I have all different kinds of shapes making up my details. I have some circle hands, some semicircle elbows, and I even have some hearts and trapezoids to make up some decorations. After we finished drawing and decorating our robots, we looked at the background and we thought, where is our robot living? What does our robot do? And how can we draw the things around it using shapes? So my robot was a teacher robot, so I drew my robot's paper with a rectangle. I drew the chalkboard behind it with another rectangle, and then we layered smaller shapes on top of our shapes to make things more realistic. So I have my rectangle pencil, I layered a smaller triangle on the top, and then I added some zigzag lines and some straight lines for details. I added some small ovals on my bigger rectangle chalkboard to show chalk, and I even added some extra lines to show the floor. What we're going to do today is we're going to trace our robot and we're going to color it in. Now I have colored pencils and crayons here because I'm going to trace my robot and the tiny details using colored pencils, and I'm going to color in the bigger spaces with my crayons. Now colored pencils are great because you can sharpen them to get a nice fine point like our pencil to trace over all those little detailed sections and color in small spaces. And our crayons are going to be great to color in those bigger areas. So I'm going to start with my colored pencils. I'm going to decide what color I'd like to use to trace over all of my different sections of my paper, and then I can color in once I'm done. I'm going to start with my robot, and looking at my robot, I think I'm going to make my robot silver, but you can make yours whatever color you would like. Maybe your robot is all different colors. I'm going to make mine a nice shiny silver, and then everything else on the paper is going to be bright and colorful. Now I can trace my robot using all different colors, or I can trace it the same color that I'm going to color the inside. I'm going to trace mine with a dark gray colored pencil, and then I'll color the inside with a lighter gray to make it look shiny silver. To trace, I'm just going to go very slowly, drawing right on top of my pencil lines. Now our goal is to make our pencil lines a lot darker so they are easier to see. And it's nice to have a nice dark colored outline that is easy to see for when we start coloring. Now I'm only going to pick and choose certain areas to trace with my darker gray because I might want to color in other sections different colors. Like I'm not going to trace the circle inside the eyes because I think I want to make that a color that's going to be a little different. So I'm just going around and trace only certain aspects of my robot, and then I can always go back in with other colors to trace all the other details. So you can choose if you want to just do the outline in whatever color you're using, or if you want to use that color to trace all of the details also. And it's okay if you don't trace it perfectly, because when we color, we can fix our mistakes. So now that I finished tracing everything I wanted with my dark gray, I'm going to go in with some other colors and trace different sections. So I think I want these top pieces to be traced in red. So I'm going to use my red colored pencil to trace those. I think I want to trace some other areas with other different colors. I think I want the ears red. Now you can also trace things different colors than you want to color them in. that is okay. Your picture can look however you would like it to. You just want to make sure that you're trying your best, going nice and slowly to make your absolute best work. So now I have a blue color that I'm going to use to trace some other areas. But I don't know if I want to color these areas blue yet, but that's okay. I can still trace them with my blue. And now I also have all these little dots all around my robot that I'm actually just going to color in with this light purple. And again, you can make all your details and trace all of your sections with whatever color you would like. Now that I finished tracing over all of the details on my robot, I'm going to go and trace over the details that are in my background. So I have all of these extra shapes and items that I drew in the background that I'm just going to do the same thing where I'm going to trace over my pencil lines with my different colored pencils. So then I know where I'm going to be coloring in. And again, you can trace over your background lines however you would like with whatever colors you would like. It does not have to look like mine. Now that I finished tracing over all of my details with my colored pencil inside my robot and in the background, I can start to color my picture in. Now, if you have any small areas with smaller details, like I have inside this heart and the bow tie and inside this little window that leads inside my robot, I'm going to color those in using my colored pencils. Since those areas are so small, I don't know if my crayon's going to be able to fit in there. And all those bigger areas I'm going to fill in with my crayons. So I'm just going to fill in very lightly with my colored pencil, going back and forth nice and slowly to color in my small details first. Now that I finished coloring in all those small little sections of details on my robot and in the background, I can go in and fill the bigger spaces like the big background space and those larger shapes using my crayons. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did with my colored pencil, where I went inside the shape that I traced so carefully, and I am just going to color it in back and forth nice and slowly so I can fill in the space. I want to make sure that I'm not scribbling and that I'm not leaving any white space so that section and my whole picture is fully colored in. Now with my crayon, I'm pressing lightly and I'm going around all those little details that I traced to just fill in the extra space. And I'm going to do this with my crayons on my whole robot and my whole background until my full paper is colored in. And that is my shape robot all finished. Once you're done coloring in your robot and all of the white space is filled in, you can take a picture of it and submit it as an assignment on our Canvas page by clicking the next button. I can't wait to see the amazing shapes you guys use to make your robots. Try your best, have fun, and get creative. Bye!